Hello, this is Erin with The Joy in Pens and Paper, and in this video I'm going to walk through my forward planning system from 2023. And what I mean by forward planning is I used a Hobonichi day free to track upcoming meetings or other scheduled events and my to-do list, my task management, all those pieces. And I used a Hobonichi cousin, which I've already done a flip through of that to do my memory keeping and journaling. And so I kind of separated out into this is what's upcoming, and the Hobonichi cousin was what already happened. I needed 2 Hobonichi day frees to make it through the year of 2023. There is a little bit left in the second one, so I didn't go through an entire second one for the year. And yeah, so without further ado, let's start flipping through. As you can see, I like to decorate my cover with some stickers. And I also added some stickers in this section as well. For the 6-month index here, I started out with writing the, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but the page number, yes, page 32 is January 1st. So I started out with writing the page number here, but I definitely fell off from doing that in March. I could certainly go back and index it, but I don't necessarily have the motivation to do that. And then my monthly, I also started out with writing the pages that could be referenced back. And again, I kept that up for a while. Looks like I stopped that in April. And then getting into my dailies. So I set up my weekly schedule with the things that were time blocked out. And then I had each day, I did a running to-do list and notes and comments and things like that. I intended to track my eating time. I often will do things like intermittent fasting, and I try to wait until minimally 11 a.m. to start eating. I also add in like grocery lists, and I did a habit tracker. I just love how this looks. This is Birmingham Pen Company, Pennsylvania Fieldstone. Such a beautiful color. And I really loved being able to fill in the box and see the shading and everything. Oh gosh, it's so gorgeous. And so I just repeat that. I don't know that I do anything too different throughout the year. Because it's a day free, I can use it very similarly to a bullet journal. So there'll be times that I'll do a spread for planning something. I will also at times do notes from a meeting that I am attending in between. And that index at the front would be a good place to capture that. Again, planning out, this was our New Year's Eve planning for 2022. I received 2 inks for Christmas. One is Ackerman 28, I think it is. And it's this beautiful grassy green color, and then Robert Oster Honeybee. And so I alternated the days. I did like how that looked. Planning for my son's birthday party. I started adding in the Alistair method for task, which again, I kept this for the majority of the year, if not all of the year. Again, adding in different things like grocery lists to fill up some of the white space. And I think this was about when I received Petrified Wood, which is another absolutely gorgeous ink from Birmingham Pen Company, and I wanted to compare it side by side with Pennsylvania Fieldstone. February, so of course I went with a bright reddish color to be on theme for that month. I believe this is Noodler's Black Swan and English Roses, and I really struggled with this ink because it often took a long time to dry. So that's not one that I would purchase again, but I am glad that I tried it because it is beautiful. The Petrified Wood from Birmingham Pen Company, also absolutely gorgeous. I do change up my lettering at times, and so this caught my eye where I was alternating from kind of a tall letter, short letter, and doing a dot underneath, and then sometimes I'll add in cursive versus print. I definitely struggled with the pen that I was using, and this one might have been, likely was Ferrisville Press Red Velvet, and so I think the shimmer was clogging the feed. Oh wow, look at that. So this one again I alternated, but this time I alternated week to week, and one week was a super sheener and the other was not. But this is what I don't love about sheening inks, is they don't seem to dry, and so then if you have any type of like oiliness or moistness to your hand and you touch it, it's going to transfer. This I did like that I did the day header a different color than the notes that I took. April 1st, I had 665 subscribers. I now have almost double that, so yay. And this ink right here, I recently got a bottle of it because I love this ink. This, I was working on my dissertation and I was tracking 15-minute work blocks, so kind of doing the Pomodoro method. And so every hour I allowed myself a break, and so that's a nice method for me when I really want to focus. I intended to do a daily track of my subscriber count in the morning and the evening to look at the growth, but I definitely didn't reference back to this page, so I ended up using it to start to plan out some giveaway pieces. I did do a giveaway, I think at the 700 mark, and I've been thinking about doing another giveaway. I'm just trying to consider what's valuable, and what I've actually enjoyed a little bit more is as I'm posting some ink exploration or ink swatching videos, when people say I really like that ink, I will actually reply back with I'd like to send it to you, and I've sent out some packages with the particular ink that someone has said that they liked, as well as some additional inks, and I'd like to keep that up. Just doing a brain dump sometimes is really helpful for me when I'm feeling overwhelmed, kind of capturing it all and then being able to figure out a plan from there. This is a more successful spread of subscriber count, so this one I actually kept up with for a good amount of time. And but I did make an error where I went from April 30th to April 1st, and that should have been May 1st. And then I also noted the videos that I posted because I was interested to see which videos people were gravitating towards. And yeah, here's that beautiful green that my husband got me for Christmas. That's a hot mess. I don't like that at all. um, I don't know why I did it like this, but uh, I'd like to never do that again. um, yeah, that's just a hodgepodge of all the different uh, ink inks that I was using that month. But like I said, I did really like this. This is the Van Diemen's Tiger Snake, and it's so beautiful, and it shades, and it has some chromo shading properties. There's a little bit of a underlying pink that's in there, which is really pretty. This is when I started really getting into budgeting. So I had noted what we spent on Saturday dinner so that I could track that expenditure. And my world definitely was taken over with finances, especially during my April vacation week. I also was tracking the number of work hours to vacation because I was very burnt out and I just wanted to get to a vacation week. So that last week I tracked the 40 hours countdown. Last 8 hours, a little encouragement there. Our friends had their baby on Tuesday, April 18th, which I'm not adult enough for. There's a comedian that has a skit or a bit on April 18th. If you're okay with some off-color humor, I highly recommend that you look it up. But I waited a couple of months and then actually sent the dad the video of that comedy skit. And I also have a t-shirt that says April 18th. So this little baby I'm connected to because of that. And like I said, most of my April vacation was spent working on budgeting. I tried out doing 2 pages a day, and actually I did fold this at one point. You can see the crease right here, because I was thinking if I can fold it, then I can see the lists of tasks and the schedule. I don't know that I kept that up though. And I also realized afterwards when I reflected, this was a little bit too busy for me. I actually do like having some of the white space to the side. There's another habit tracker, and I believe this is Birmingham Pen Company Sandstone, which I also fell in love with, and it was a sample sent to me from a viewer. So that same viewer ended up telling me when Birmingham Pen Company restocked it, and I bought a bottle. Occasionally I let someone play with my fountain pens. This is one of the students that I work with, and so I do like looking back at when they're writing with a fountain pen. I have a small cluster of pens that I'm probably going to ink up pretty soon and bring to work with me just for students to use when they would like to. Did some planning for the YouTube content that I wanted to put out in June. And then this is my June habit tracker. Ooh, what is that color? I need to look that up. That's beautiful. I wonder if that's Monteverde pumpkin cake. And I think this is Sailor Shikiori Shito Shito. And I believe this is Dominant Industry Winterwood. And this is the end. I had started to set up the weekly here. And this was the week that school let out, the week after school let out, and I had a lot of things with going to New York City for a concert, Boston for a concert, and then the Cape and Martha's Vineyard for a bachelorette party. And that is the first half, which made it to the 19th, so like the 3rd, 4th week of June. Now we get into the next half. I didn't touch these index pages at all. And I'm going to skip ahead to June. And this is where I started using this planner. And Miss Marilyn Darling's birthday, October 28th. And what I did is on the March page, I put some dates of things that were coming up in the future. So I used this very similarly. It was a style that was relatively working. I think the challenge was I was learning. I was finishing up a job or working a summer program for a job that I absolutely hated, and trying really hard to get through each day and each moment. And I wrapped up, unbeknownst to me, I ended up wrapping up that job around the second week of August. I kind of hit my breaking point and applied for a job, got an interview right away, got a job offer right away. And then I had this interesting plot twist where a prior employer from a decade ago found out that I was on the market, so to speak, and they were a little persistent, which was good because I ended up accepting that job, and that's where I'm currently working. This ink is a birthday gift from my husband. It's a company called Auto Hut, and the ink color is called Gold Dust. And I had this inked up in an Esterbrook SD in the Petrified Forest color with an extra fine nib, and this was just such an enjoyable combination. Even though it was an extra fine nib, it handled the shimmer of gold dust so well. And it's currently January 13th, so I'm starting to mentally prepare for my pen and ink combinations for February, and that's probably going to be one of them. This is Birmingham Pen Company Distress Leather, which is absolutely gorgeous. Love it so much. Made a cleaning plan. This is, was writing with a Banu Euphoria and Ice Caramel Latte. I love this pen, but I think the nib needs some tuning. So my husband's actually looking at the pen shows for 2024, and we're seeing if we can plan a little family vacation around going to a pen show. So there's a chance I might be going to the DC pen show. I'm really excited, but I'll be bringing some pens to get tuned and hopefully get an appointment with a nibmeister. Ryder Cup, we were going to host for the Ryder Cup. However, the United States had such a terrible start that my husband was not in the mood to host, so we ended up canceling that, and I turned this into a grocery list page. My October pen and ink planning. This ink is Ferris Wheel Press Workshop Wishes, this beautiful light brown, deep tan, and it has a kind of champagne shimmer to it. This looks very similar to Auto Hut Gold Dust. It's not as bright, but this is Sailor 50 States, Massachusetts. And I believe this was in the same pen, the Esterbrook SD Petrified Forest with an extra fine nib. I love that pen. I love my handwriting with that pen. It's comfortable, which I think is evidenced by my handwriting. October, I always find myself in my planners being a little bit more decorative in October, where I'll add in some spider webs, and so I definitely had some fun with that. Made a grocery list, got a little spider friend. This is when I got my Leonardo Memento Zero Grande 2.0 in angel skin with an elastic fine 14 karat nib. Oh, love it so much. And I was brainstorming inks to put in it that I thought would look really nice in it. I also did some alternating between orange and black as it got close to Halloween. And then I did my month of brown and blue. I got my Bennu Talisman, Dream Beam, grocery list. I loved these two colors together. This is Robert Oster Summer Storm and Birmingham Pen Company Sandstone. Chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful. And I also loved, this is Colorverse Brunch Date, which I ended up getting a bottle of because once I used it in the Leonardo, I couldn't imagine not having that available. So I went ahead and got it, and I really like how these note pages came out. I have a couple of them. I did run out of the Colorverse Brunch Date because I was using it quite a bit, and the bottle hadn't arrived, so I switched over to Waringle Shock, which was a generous sample that one of my viewers sent to me. And I am at the very end of that fill. I still have enough in that sample that I can try it out in another pen, but I really love it in the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. Here's another of those note pages. And I think one of the things I want to do is, and I did it somewhat here, is the Leonardo, it has an elastic fine nib. So it's a Flex E nib, not super flex, but Flex E. And so I find myself tending to use it much more for headers and fun lettering than for day-to-day usage, and I want to shift my brain on that. So I'm likely going to push that next month as well. Now we're into December. I got my TWSBI Eco Creme in rose gold, and I put Pilot Iroshizuku in there. And then we get into my jewel-toned December colors. This was a notes from a board meeting that I went to. Pen and ink planning. And I think I ended up going pretty different. I did use the Moonstone. I did use Mad Hatter. I did use Inaho. I did use Tea Time. But I did not use Waringle Fast, Vinta Armada, or Iroshizuku Ajisai. At the last minute, I made a decision to go much more green and kind of murky for January. And then I have all of these empty pages back here. And there's my kid. Yes, and I didn't touch any of these pages. So there we go. So that is my work or kind of planning system for 2023. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderfully productive day.